macho Mandalorian is here! Oh, yeah!
What's up, everybody? Django Fett here, hunting down games, comics, TV shows, movies, and more. And with the Assassin's Creed movie coming out soon, I have to review a couple of Assassin's Creed games, starting with the infamous Assassin's Creed 2. Now, believe it or not, the first game I actually reviewed on my channel was Assassin's Creed 4, but that was all with pictures. There was no gameplay whatsoever. Now, Assassin's Creed 2 is an action-adventure stealth game, stealth in quotes, of course, developed by Ubisoft Montreal and came out in 2009 and released on Xbox 360 and PS3 and PC, but there was all that DRM nonsense and fortunately they got rid of that shit. Now this game is a direct sequel to Assassin's Creed 1, so if you haven't played that game, please play that. It's pretty good. Now if you haven't, it's not really required as they do have a brief monologue in the beginning, but I still recommend you play it to make sense of a bunch of stuff. You start as Desmond, who escapes the Abstergo lair, aka Templar. As you escape, you enter an assassin's lair. There's two factions if you haven't figured it out. Assassins, which are the good guys, and the Templar, who want to take over the world and are fucked up in general. So instead of controlling Altair, you control a totally different ancestor of yours, Ezio de Auditore. The guy's a man's man. He beats up his enemies and gets the ladies.
Dina!
Who's there?
Me!
Oh, Ezio. I should have known.
May I come in?
Fine, but only for a minute.
A minute is all I need.
Indeed.
Well, wait, that came out wrong.
Everything is great with him until his family gets wrongfully accused and massacred, and Ezio, his sister, and his mother must escape the city to Monteriggioni, home to his uncle. So Ezio slowly has to take down his Templar enemies one by one and become this badass assassin to take out the big head honcho. Also, I know the remastered version came out on Xbox One and PS4, but not a free update on PC, which is dumb. A lot of people have done this, you know. Bethesda and 2K did this with BioShock and Elder Scrolls, but why not this game? But seriously, the remaster looks really bad. All they add is 1080p resolution, which the PC already has, and an E&B or light effect to the game, which I wouldn't mind in the PC version, but I'm fine with the game right now because it's gorgeous on the PC. I love climbing to the top of every tower that I want to go on and looking at these beautiful locations around Italy. And interacting with a huge population in the cities. Each of these cities just feels so lively and you feel like you're immersed in these cities throughout Italy. Kudos for Ubisoft for updating their game and putting 1080p resolution at 60 frames per second. And if I remember correctly, last time I played this game, it was initially 720p, and seeing it at 1080p is a superb upgrade. It's a game that came out in 2009 and it still looks great. It's not perfect, but it's great for that time. Now the controls, I would highly recommend using a controller, for as third-person games are made from controllers, not so much keyboard and mouse. Now if you connect your controller, it's not going to work. You'll have to download a small file. If I find it, I'll put a link in the description to help you guys out. But download this file, go to the game's control settings. When it shows up properly, then set it the way you want it. Now the game controls are hit and miss. This is the case for Assassin's Creed games in general. They will have this tendency to go over your commands, over your head. Most of the time if you select a command, like if you climb or jump, it sometimes will not initiate and do something completely different, and that always pisses me off with Assassin's Creed games. I get fucking mad during these times, especially during combat when it doesn't respond properly. Hell, when I played Assassin's Creed 4 during a combat sequence, I got so freaking mad, I punched my couch to a point when my fist was bleeding. I never got so stressed out than that time. It was crazy. I always tend to yell at the TV too when I get pissed off too. But that's just me. I honestly hate the combat and the way it controls in this game. It's very poorly optimized and very poor in this game. I know it was back in that time, but it's really bad. Future Assassin's Creed games will fix this problem, but I feel like this is probably the worst in the series by far when it comes to combat. Now the gameplay is decent, but it's not the highlight of the game. The thing that makes this game great is the story and the main character Ezio, who you control. Ezio is fantastically put together. He starts off as a youth who doesn't know what he wants until his family gets killed, and now he wants nothing more than to get revenge on everyone involved. he slowly turns into a dark character to a person who still has this charming, witty, and intuitive, as well as being a ladies' man. And never loses that in the game. And someone who we can all get behind and side with no matter what. I honestly think he's the best written video game character ever. I know many people would consider Link or Master Chief or Solid Snake, but I truly think Ezio should be in the conversation too. Of course there's some negatives. There's a bunch of negatives I found. There are story elements that don't add up, like the big reveal and that you're an assassin, killing countless Templars, and all of a sudden these people pop out of nowhere who helped you in the game, and then they tell you that they're part of the Assassin Order and ask them to join you. Why at the end of the game? It makes no freaking sense. Why not at the very beginning and explain what they're doing, what their motives are, why all this bullshit, okay? Why this secret bullshit at the end? It makes no sense. It didn't make any sense. Also, most of the side characters are pretty forgettable. Some, like Bartolomeo and Leonardo da Vinci, are really great, but most are meh. And the antagonist, who you're supposed to hate, comes in and out of the game and just not a strong presence in the game, and someone who you don't really want to kill so badly, which defeats the purpose of playing the game in the first place. And the combat, you guys know, I hate it. Now my rating, this is going to be difficult because I would rate a game now, but know how legendary this game was back in the day. It's phenomenal, believe me, I know. But as of right now, I'm going to give Assassin's Creed 2 a... I know, the game has problems, and it's still got problems. It's got wacky bugs and controls, and those hurt it for me for giving this game this rating. I mean, I want to give it an instant 5 out of 5, but I just can't do it. As a critic, I gotta tell it as it is. I just didn't have fun with the combat, despite how many weapons you acquire throughout the game. I didn't like it. But the story and Ezio are great, and the graphics are surprisingly great. Forget the Ezio collection and get this on the PC. So the next game I will review is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, which is the sequel to Assassin's Creed 2, and you guys might actually be really surprised about this game. Now, unfortunately, Assassin's Creed 2 games would start this trend in which they would come out yearly. This wouldn't hurt Assassin's Creed at that time with the initial games with Ezio, but hurt them in the future. So that is Assassin's Creed 2. Let me know what you guys think of the game in the comment section down below. And don't forget to please like this video and subscribe to my channel, Django Fett. And I'll see you guys on the next game review. Peace.